Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, we still hold roughly the same price that we have been holding for the entire day. There's a little bit of up and down, there's a little bit of volatility, and to be honest, maybe we don't see a lot of movement until tomorrow. Bear in mind, tomorrow we've got the CPI data coming out. Of course, nobody knows what the data will be, but there are estimates around 8.2% inflation increase, which is less than, for example, we had the month before. That would be a rather potentially bullish signal, but you can never really know. And I try to keep these kind of events really out of my TA, because you never know what eventually the data will say. And you also don't know how much is already priced in. Yeah, so that is always an unclear factor. So what is important for us, as a trader, as a technical analyst, is to understand what can the market do and to have a strategy ready of what am I going to do if the market is doing this or that. Yeah. So of course there is a scenario in which we go down. Of course there is a scenario where we will go up. Nobody's trying to predict the market here. What is important to understand is the different scenarios and in which scenarios it is ideal to do what kind of trade in order to keep the risk low in comparison to the reward. That is what the Elliott waves are particularly well equipped for. Of course, there's an element of sort of predicting in here, but it is not really about that. It is about allowing to understand what movements can the market make, and if certain levels are broken, what are then the next likely movements in order to plan your strategy. Because there's no point in just trading anything. You want to trade, you want to set a plan, a strategy, okay? So just briefly again, generally why I show you here the bearish chart, which would assume we will make lower lows. It's purely because since we dropped below 18.9K, and even if it was only a brief drop, it has invalidated the main bullish scenario. Of course, there are still bullish scenarios available, but with that drop below 18.9K, it has just become less likely to work out. But we are now in a key decision point here, in a key inflection point for Bitcoin, and in these points you can get surprises. So it's time for an open mind in this market. I've been saying that for a while now. It's time for an open mind, because there are scenarios where we'll go down, there are scenarios where we will go up. I don't really care. Yeah, what is important is to understand what are the next likely movements, and then what price targets does it give me, and when do I go long, when do I go short, what do I do? Yeah, just to have the strategy ready, and when do I, in which scenario can I find a certain wave pattern which allows me to, for example, enter the market at low risk. Yeah. So for me, I want to show you here a few Elliott wave scenarios or patterns, or let's say, scenarios here that can work out. My bear in mind, remember down here, we talked about this upcoming wave 2 correction, which is finally playing out. It took a while to get done. We even had one more dip, and however, in the end, it did work out. So this is good, and there was an opportunity to go long here. I did do that at the time. I talked about that. Maybe I bought a little bit too early at 20,700, but overall it's in profit. Took some profits already today, mentioned that to the channel members. I think it could still go higher, of course, here short term. Then I will take some more profits of that position. If not, I don't mind. I will just accumulate lower. These are generally the great prices here to accumulate overall, especially long term. But even short term here, there was no opportunity to go long here. For me at the moment, there is no opportunity to go long. At the moment, there is an opportunity to start to take profits. Again, it always depends on your strategy, of course. When we talk about Bitcoin medium term, maybe long term, going to 50, 100, maybe even 150K. Of course, these are just minor movements really. But again, it all depends on your strategy. So here in the short term, personally, I don't think we have seen the low, but it's possible. It is possible. Can I rule it out? No, of course not. We have to have an open mind. Okay, so what is important to understand is that both scenarios are possible, that the low is in, that the low isn't in. So in this bearish scenario, we would expect that from the top here, at around 25k, a wave 1 to the downside started. Now in this first scenario that I show you, we say we came down in a wave 1, we found a low here in the wave 1 in a 5-wave move on the 29th of August. We then started actually here already, end of August, the move up in the wave 2. But this pattern is unfolding as an expanded flat. A wave 2 has 3 waves, A, B, C, and we can see that we had a so-called overshooting wave B, where in this case, how do you say it? Well, it went below the low of the wave 1, yeah? This is not a regular flat, this is an expanded flat. So in that scenario, we need to see a wave A in 3 waves, a wave B in 3 waves. We have seen all that. And now the wave C in 5 waves. The wave C in 5 waves is currently unfolding. The 5 waves could be complete. When I saw 5 waves are complete, I took profits. Okay, I made channel members aware on Telegram. We can see here the 5 waves. I just want to introduce you to it and take you through it, but there's no confirmation that we are going down very clearly. I could have also waited, but I decided to take some profits. So that's the first 2 waves. Then we had here the wave 3, 4 here, and then the wave 5. Now that could go higher, that wave 5. Yeah, there's no guarantee. We stopped already. Now, if you say, why on earth are you ignoring all of this in between space? Well, I'm not, but I don't necessarily show you all the subwave counts, but this is also a 1, 2. You can count it like that. Then we had here a wave 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, so the wave, 1 second, here in white, the white wave count is basically making up the subwaves for that wave 3. So basically you had in blue, the wave 3 was an extended wave. Yeah, so we see that here, an extended wave, and that you could say 5 waves are complete. This can still push a bit higher. I wouldn't be surprised. This can push higher a little bit more. No problem. It could even become an extended wave 5. You never know that. But the minimum requirements are fulfilled. That means we had here a 3-3-5 pattern complete. It's time to expect lower prices now, but it can go higher as long as it's in an uptrend. Yeah. And therefore, yeah, we first of all have to expect it could go higher. Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it was time to take some profits. This can push higher, and how high can it push in this scenario? So in this scenario, we can take here the FIBs to the low from the end of August date. And we can see that we are now reacting to the 50% FIB level at 22,350. If we push above that, 23k will be the next major FIB level, next most important Fibonacci level at 23k, yeah, the 61.8% FIB. And if we go above that, we could reach the 23,960 level. And above that level, this wave 2 will just get unreliable and we could flip bullish. Now this is this scenario. And there is also another scenario which I talked about yesterday, which is, in my opinion, very likely as well. We would have to count the subwaves a bit different. I'll spare you all the details, but in this scenario we had the low here in the wave 1, yeah, and if we do that, we just have to shift the Fibonacci levels a little bit down. That changes those fibs a little bit. You can see that the 78.6% fib level, the moment from which we can flip bullish, moves down to 23,760. So we basically have a range between 23,760 roughly, yeah, and 23,960. If we get above that range, we can flip more bullish. So these are basically the 2 scenarios how you can count here the wave 2. You can of course count this as an impulse as well, yeah, assuming, and that would be the bullish count, that we came down here in a corrective wave to the downside. That's possible as well. I showed you that in other scenarios where we would then say, okay, we had here an overshooting wave B, and we had a wave 1 up here, then an A, B, C, came down, and then we are already in an impulse to the upside. And that would be the bullish scenario. And in a bullish scenario as well, it would be important though to break above this range just to get rid of the bearish scenario or to make it less likely. Yeah, so these are the key scenarios. So this can push higher, but we need to be aware that this can come lower. So at the moment, it is at the moment just a time of waiting. I did explain in detail yesterday how this could be traded. If it pushes higher, so at the moment for me, as I said, it's time for profit taking. Yeah, anybody who has a position bought down lower, which I think many did, it might be a time for taking some profits. That's up to you if you do it. This can push higher. If it goes higher, I would take some more profits. If this is an impulse, yeah, and if we are in the bullish scenario already, because we have seen already potentially 5 waves, we can count 5 waves. So again, even though we have not broken above that level here, we can count 5 waves, which is impulsive potentially. Yeah. So what is important therefore is to then wait for the pullback. Yeah, not just jumping on the train and FOMOing in. At least I would not do that. I would wait for the pullback, which in the bearish scenario could be a corrective wave down. No, sorry, which in the in the bullish scenario will be a corrective wave down, and we will then move higher, and then this pullback could be traded long. And in the bearish scenario, it would most likely be a impulse down. Yeah, but in the end, structurally, this we just have to wait. Yeah, the in the bearish case, we will move down impulsively. In the bullish case, we will come down in a correction. So in any way, it doesn't really matter if we come down in a corrective wave, and there are various possibilities again, and I will keep you updated. If we come down in a corrective wave, I would go long here. Practically, this means if we can hold, and that's based on the current view here, if we can hold the 19,400 level, there might be an opportunity to go long here with a much lower risk than trying to jump on the train up here, because you will get this retracement anyway. We're waiting for the dip. We don't want to run behind a train. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if you bought down here, you're in a comfortable position somewhere there. Yeah. So then you can start to take some profits. So yeah, this is currently still here at a key inflection point. What is so important at the moment is to wait for the dip, to see what kind of structure it is, and then to make your decisions. Someone asked me why I don't short, because I said I took some profits. Why would I not short then? Well, I don't short because I don't know. It could go still higher. That is certainly, this structure does not convince me yet that this move to the upside is over. It could be, yeah, and therefore I took some profits, and you could even move up your stop loss. But to short, the risk is too high for me because this could push high. We're in an uptrend here. Yeah, there's no sign that this is over yet. So if I was to short and it goes higher, I get stopped out. Yeah, if I set the stop close. Therefore, for me, the next pullback will clear a lot of things up. It will clear a lot of things up. It will make the whole scenario much clearer. And therefore, it's so important to wait for that pullback. Yeah, we don't want to just rush into a trade. We want to wait and see and get clarity. And for me, that's why I took some profits, because I'm happy with those profits within a few days or a couple of weeks that was. And I will take some more profits if we go higher. But then again, I wait for the pullback to buy in again. Okay. And if we go much lower and make lower lows, then of course I will keep my money aside until I get clarity that this move down is near enough finished, and I will start to scale in again. Okay, so again, it was unfortunately a little bit of a longer video again. I hope it was still helpful. If you like the update, then please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.